Hi, our names are Liz,
Janelle, and Nicole, and we're going to be talking about how women living in the prairies were affected by the Great Depression in the 1930s.
The Great Depression in the year 1929 was caused by the stock market crashing, the U.S. protectionism, which encouraged countries to put up high tariffs.
This resulted in people not being able to pay for their products, which led to companies shutting down, unemployment, overproduction, and loss of jobs.
When the men went to war, women had to take over the industries run by men. Once the war was over and the men returned, women were expected to return to their normal wifely duties. Females who still worked were discriminated by many, and their fathers even got threats.
Everyone believed that national life would be happier, saner, and safer if unemployed men got their jobs back, meaning women had to sacrifice their financial independence and be supported by their father, husband, or brother.
In the Saskatchewan's prairies, there was an event called the Dust Bowl during the 1930s. There were droughts causing dust storms, and the crops were also infested with locusts that ate everything. On top of that, there was the Depression. There wasn't a social security net at that time, so unemployed people didn't get insurance.
This was a very hard period of time for people, especially women. The lack of clean water encouraged men to discriminate women even more because they couldn't make the clothes and curtains white after washing.
Due to the Depression and the Dust Bowl, families were suffering from economic hardships. Men who were unemployed couldn't work to earn money and could no longer provide the family with basic needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. Due to this, many men gave up and walked away from their families. This meant that women had to work harder to support their children and themselves.
They found ways to out household costs and reduce the amount of money by giving up commercially produced foods, kept bees to produce honey to cut down sugar costs, grew crops for food supply, expanded gardens, picked wild berries, and found ways to reuse everything.
They also did favors for neighbors, such as cleaning up their houses for them, or trade supplies for food, clothes, tools, and some cash, etc. In conclusion, the Depression from 1929 to 1939 was very difficult for many people, but it also benefited women's independence and the way people saw them. Due to this discrimination against women, it made them work even harder to support themselves and their family.
They made use of what they had to live by in the prairies, on top of the drought, locusts, dust storms, and the fall of the economy. They proved people wrong as they're worthy of respect and that they're just as reliable as men.
The Great Depression.